From a double game week bonanza to now grand finale Sunday. For some managers, it's now a time of celebrations of the seasons they've had. And for others, it's the end of what has been a forgetful campaign. But nonetheless, in the FPL Addicts podcast, we've got so many answers to your potential questions you may have. A bit of a frenzy this is, the final game week of the season. Without further ado, let's get stuck into it on this week's edition of the FPL Addicts podcast. That's the energy we love to see as the Game Week 38 in storm. Good afternoon, good evening to wherever you may be tuning in around the planet. It's festival. Some may say it's festive time. That was December, but this is May. And for my eyes, this is actually Christmas Day because all 20 sides are kicking off at the same time in the Game Week through the entire campaign. And today, I'm enjoyed by someone else, but also for making his first appearance in 17 Game Weeks. It is the FPL Reverend!
Yes, mate. Thanks for
good afternoon to you. How are you doing?
Mate, I'm doing great. Been going through a bit of some busy life changes, obviously new job, and this last week I've just moved house, so now I'm closer to my little studio and looking forward to bringing some people the quality content or not so quality content that they deserve. I mean, let's be honest, it's just going to be high quality but more nonsense. All the gear, no idea. That's how we do it on the FPL Addicts.
No idea. I'm not sure if the other guests will bring that same way, but without further introduction, we go. The next guest, and he made the semi-finals of the 2018 Britain's Got Talent, but has got the talent as a fantasy manager. You will find out in due course. It is Allan
You all right,
yes.
lads?
You all right, Allan? How's it going, mate?
I'm all right, Mikey.
Good. Yeah, good. I mean, obviously, I'm one of those fancy managers who lives in hope this week, of trying to catch my mini league rivals with an outside shot, So I've been trying to rack my brain for some outside shots and off chances this week and hopefully catch a few of those other fancy managers who are already on the beach napping this week. But what about you, Allan, who's already a little bit closer to the top? How are you approaching this game week?
I've kind of resigned myself that I'm not going much higher at all in many leagues I'm in. I kind of blew it about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Had a little blip in the season, a bit cloppish, and it all went tongue. And so I've kind of I kind of just didn't quite hang on in there enough. Didn't pick up on some of the players that I should have picked up on earlier, and it I went from being top of quite a lot of me mini leagues to like 5th, 4th, 3rd, or 7th.
The downward spiral was real, but you're still better than I am, so I can't even say anything.
only just, yeah. I mean, the problem is when you go behind, isn't it, that you
start chasing,
to do something different than the people above you. It's a bit of a catch-22 sometimes, but never mind.
Colm with has Reidy shaved his beard. Hey, Allan, that's a compliment. That Reidy's
a nice looking bloke.
yeah, definitely doing well for yourself, mate.
Oh dear, mate. Yeah,
mate. Oh, look at what Gary said as well. He said resurrection. I mean, that could mean one or two things. It means either the Rev is back after 17 game weeks or something really dodgy has happened.
You don't want to see. There's rules against that,
There really is. I mean, there's clergy discipline measures on the way to me right now. And what about you, Chaz? How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm going well, thank you. I've got 2 scarves on, but you'll find out the reason why. I've already mentioned it to Allan, so it's very intriguing. But before we get to that stage, I want to ask Allan very quickly in terms of, I know you may have tailed off 4 weeks ago, but how have you found this fantasy season in general? Have you found it the most engaging, or do you feel that it's been one of those seasons where it's very hard to get out of that pack in terms of where you want to go in your direction?
No, I think it's been a really high standard this season. There's a lot of people have got better at this game over the years, and so it's harder to, as you say, get out of that pack. But yeah, I think it's been really, you've got to keep focused on it. A lot of people do it and then forget the team and then miss a week here and there, and you just know, them, the Tom Grants of this world. That means nothing except to Mikey and yourself. But the Tom Grants of this world who ends up finishing bottom because they don't look at the team for 6 weeks and all that kind of stuff,
Even those managers, annoyingly,
occasionally get a great week, don't they?
Yeah, it's because they accidentally have the patience to stick with some assets that blow up. This year for me, Bukayo Saka, I've had him when he's been on a streak of blanks and then sold him and then all of a sudden starts doing well again.
Me too.
And so it's just yeah. But I think I just want to echo that in terms of how hard of a year it's been. Not only has the standard been really high, but for the classic FPL overthinkers like me, it's been really, really quite difficult because we want to engage, we want to look at the data, but a lot of the data's not been matching up with what's been happening on the pitch, and that's something I'm having to learn to deal with. I think something else that I'm having to learn to do is I think there's such a thing as being too engaged. So having waiting for those team leaks and those lineups to know whether players are starting or not starting, or whether players have an injury or don't they have an injury, when I could just make a much more simple, more solid choice, and then go from there. And I think that's some of the learning that I'm definitely taking into next season is to don't keep it simple, stupid, and don't do the complicated thing. Don't try and be a special little flower with my own little spicy data-backed differentials, but just keep the players who I know are just going to tick over.
I honestly think you still can't help yourself. Next year, you'll do exactly the same.
I know.
You'll do all the stuff.
I'm a changed man. I promise, Minister. I promise.
Because he's a differential.
Mate, don't get me started. Mate, I've got a friend. Shout out Lindsay, who has already put KDH, Kevin Dewsbury Hall, in a team. She's just no, he's the one. He's the next Kevin De Bruyne. But no, KDH is not KDB. It sounds the same, but it's very different. One plays for the champions elect, and the other plays for a promoted side with Jamie Vardy. I can't name you.
And possibly a points deduction to start the season.
Well, I don't know what that's like either.
No. You should start doing it for fancy football managers. That's
yeah. Sure. I mean, I have. Yeah, Gary's right in the chat. I have picked some three-legged donkeys this year. I've picked some absolute howlers, and but yeah, I'm sure Chaz will get us onto them in a bit.
Yeah. That's fair. Before we get to our Gameweek 37 sides, Allan, I think as a community, we want to learn a bit more of you as a manager, because I've looked at your rank history before we go to your side, but you've had 3 top 50k finishes, which is a fair achievement it's
pretty impressive. Well done, mate.
Have you had a certain formula that you follow over years?
No. I literally go with me gut and me head. I watch a lot of football and I look who's seems to be playing well. It doesn't always work. Obviously, there's a few bad seasons in there, but I literally go for that. And then my biggest motivating factor is to finish above Rev. So that's as long as I finish above him, I'll do all right normally. So
mate, it's the highest compliment you can pay me. I mean,
so no, I literally just I try. I guess my basic formula is obviously pick midfielders and forwards who score, and obviously the defenders who keep clean sheets. It's obvious, but I try to pick the best player from each team. If you get what I mean, their best player. That's a basic thing that I do. So I target certain players from certain teams, and I just say that's their best player. That's probably their best player that's going to get the most points, or players. And then I kind of try and stick with them. But obviously the season changes things and injuries come in. And I get a bit too clever sometimes, a bit like Mikey said earlier. You start trying to second guess yourself and everything instead of going with your guts. Like this last week, I actually thought I'd put that City defender in Gundogan or whatever his name is.
Gvardiol.
That's him.
Yeah.
I thought I'd put him in. And when he scored 2, I was celebrating. And then I looked at my team.
Oh, no, he's on the mare.
Rookie mistake. Rookie
error,
I hadn't done it.
Oh, no.
I literally changed it. Like second guessing yourself again.
That's devastating.
It's because of trying to find people who are, other teams aren't going to have to try and catch up people when you still have that glimmer of hope of catching people, But no, that's me. General tactic is to try and get the best player from each team, even if that team's, a newly promoted team. Dewsbury Hall, but he's probably going to warm me bench, probably. But something like that. That's what I try to do. If I've got to, I pick the best player out of that team. That was a long answer. Sorry, chat.
No, it's all good.
Nah, it's fair. So you took a negative 12 points hit just again on your side. I think Gusto was a great shout along with Mickey van der Ven. And then you had Alvarez. Yeah, really good in the back line. You had Dubravka up there who managed to get 5 points. Was that 20 points on the bench too as well?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the Alves one. I thought.
How have you, Alan, accidentally beaten my bench boost from this week, even though you didn't bench boost? This is my luck in fantasy football. You know what I mean? I'm going. I plan it out and I go. You know what? I got too obsessed with double game weeks last year. I'm just going to have as many double game week players in my main 11 as possible, and I've got 3 Arsenal players.
Yeah.
Triple Arsenal, and they did all right. But oh my, you've outscored my bench boost with the bench that you weren't playing.
I tried to catch people above me by doing taking the -12. It was a calculated risk. It kind of didn't work. I was in the semis of 3 cups and I lost it because of the -12.
Yeah.
The -12 knocked me out. But I was close to them even with the -12, but I got knocked out of the cups and everything. And it didn't. It was a calculated gamble that kind of got me enough points, but didn't really pay off. I don't think. Although it got me 100+ points, so it wasn't too bad.
You take it, Rev. Straight to your side because it's a great talk of discussion at the moment. Is yours 132, which would have been with 16 points on the bench, which isn't too bad. It could be a lot worse, but talk us through it.
Yeah, I think I'm at the stage where I'm looking at the teams that have, they've got something to fight for, as opposed to being on the beach. So, Everton obviously battling relegation threats or, fighting for safety. Spurs who were, had that double game week. I mean, Alan, I'm guilty of doing exactly what you did, but not with Gvardiol, but with Pedro Porro. I just put Romero in by accident. And I thought I was putting in Pedro Porro. So that's some more points that I've missed out on there because he obviously got some attack and returns over the double game week. But, apart from that, triple City, triple Arsenal, I think it's just the way to go right now. There are some fantasy managers who may be doubting themselves, Alan, who with no Arsenal attack going into this week. But I've got that locked and loaded against an Everton who are probably going to be on the beach. I think Everton are going to show up. I think they don't want to get hammered. I think they don't want to get hammered in the last game. I think Everton away from home
will be a waste of time. Sorry about the religious connotations.
No, no. You shouldn't bet on Jesus. Shouldn't put your faith in him. Really.
Muhammad's a much better bet.
Yeah, for sure. You know who I think is actually good this week, though? I mean, Trossard has been silently killing it.
Yeah.
And if I wanted a little differential from Trossard, I mean, Chaz has got the song.
Trossard again, ole. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those players. So I would have to take a -4 to get him in, but the prospect of having triple Arsenal attack against Everton for me is something that I'm kind of tempted by. Not putting faith in my own side, the Toffees. But, every time I've done that, I've just ended up depressed anyway.
Hasn't Pickford got the most? He's got a load of clean sheets.
Why is I don't know how Pickford is the highest scoring goalkeeper in FPL, which is annoying because at the start of the season, everyone had him. And now, and the back half of the season, he suddenly decided to turn up, which is...
His defense has turned up, hasn't it, a little bit?
Well, yeah, for sure.
He makes that many shot stops, he gets bonus points, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think that's the key with goalkeepers.
That is the key for me. Yeah,
you can pick someone like Edison.
Yeah, and makes one save a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also concedes one every game because Man City, the masters of winning at games 4 or 5-1.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah.
Good stuff, Rev. 130 plus, that is. I'll just go straight to my team. I mean, look, it's one of those weeks where I could have a week off in the last week and probably still top the mini league. But here it is, 148 with a points hit here. 19 on the bench boost. Not too bad. But yeah, this is how I see it. I think the back line was exceptional for what it is. I think Allan captain was important, but also using the bench boost this week as opposed to next week. Because I was in heavy consultations with myself using it in game week 38, but I felt this was the right week to do so.
Yeah,
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I tried to go a little bit differential with Phil Foden as the captain, so obviously he did quite well in the first game, but then the robot just roboted, and that's what he does. He is the Terminator, and he just absolutely killed me in that second game. So, fair play to you, Chaz. Really great game week, man. Should be proud of yourself, proud of your season. How many hits have you taken all season, Chazza?
3 it would be.
3 hits only in 38 game weeks. That's impressive stuff, mate. And your consistency's been a real challenge to even attempt to keep up with. That's why I've stopped bothering. So, but yeah, man, well done to you.
I think I took too many hits over the season.
I mean, you taking -12 last week is just like Allan of 3 seasons ago.
But it kind of paid off. Still got me 100+ points with it. Maybe I wouldn't have if I didn't do that. The only one who didn't perform for me was Alves, really, wasn't it? So,
yeah, fair. I mean, you got to buy a ticket to win the raffle,
and you've got to do what you've got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Fortune and the brave and that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very briefly to our mini leagues, I've loved just tuning into these on a week-on-week basis. So Jordy Wilson leads by 3 points heading into the final day. Jojo, who was top for a majority of it, is now 13 points behind. I'm very intrigued to see how that all ends up. Rev, I think I've got a question for you in terms of, have you enjoyed the second half of this season, or do you feel it's been a bit too chaotic for what it's been, especially with the drama behind VAR, scrapping FA Cup replays?
I mean, not to quote Game of Thrones too much, but chaos is a ladder, and you can either climb it or you can get sunk by it. And I think, there's been times where, in the second half of the season, like, I feel like I get stronger in the second half of the season in general, just because I'm just simply purely down to the fact that I'm more engaged than most people in a mini league. But I think one of the things that has been quite prevalent this year, because of the high demand on fixtures and things like that, unless you're West Ham, of course, you really struggle with injuries. Like, I don't know what they're doing in the West Ham changing rooms, but they are really looking after their players quite well and not having that many injuries. I feel like this year has been really tough for buying a player. You have them for 1 week or 2, and then they just get injured. It happened with Kieran Trippier. It happened with Pedro Neto. It happened with Trent Alexander-Arnold. It happened with Kevin De Bruyne. It happened with Haaland at one point. It happened with Salah when he went away to AFCON. You know, like there's just been so many things, but the thing is, like at the end of every road is a mirror, and you know you've got to look at yourself at the end of the day. And if those players have been out for me, they've been out for everyone else. So it's about how I react to that, which is the learning that I've got to take.
Yeah, I would agree. You've got to adapt, and sometimes I wasn't quick enough getting on some people that a lot of other people jumped on. You know, the likes of
I think, yeah, you're so right, Alan. Like, I think sometimes as well, like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
That's where I was with Palmer and people like that.
Like, if we even go right back to game week 1, right, Matoma and Mbermo didn't, like, even going into the first game week, I was like, we can have triple City, we can have triple City attack. We know Alvarez is going to play every game. Like, you know, we can have triple Liverpool. We can have triple Arsenal. Like, why would we go anywhere else? And then here's Mbermo from Brentford just killing it every week, taking 1 billion penalties. And I'm like, you know, like, so I think going into next season, like, I'm going to believe the hype just once or twice. I'm going to just go, you know what? I don't see it, but I'm just going to trust the process. Going to have a bit of faith, you know? Gonna be sure of the things that I can't see. And yeah, so that's me, man.
Yeah,
this mini league,
I just wing it.
Yeah,
come on,
true.
Yeah, the women's league. Well, Mira, who won it last year, is in 5th and is making an exceptional charge. It would have been from game week 23 up to 900k overall, but is now just outside the top 50k, which is astonishing. Jojo is now 22 points behind this league, and it's Julia who leads by 22 in Zapper Ravi as the team name. As we said, we will do an end of season review show and review all the mini leagues in due course. Alan, you mentioned about Cole Palmer earlier in terms of maybe in your eyes being one of the surprise packets of the season. My question is to you, has he been the surprise packet or has it been someone else? For example, Anthony Watkins or the breakout season of Phil Foden?
No, I think it's been Palmer. I think you couldn't have predicted the amount of goals he'd score. I mean, he didn't really show that at City. I know he only had glimpses of coming on occasionally in the odd game. But, you know, with them selling them, which seemed to be for a lot of money, in fairness, so they obviously...
Yeah, their bench is just a clown car, though, isn't it? It's just like, all these elite players just keep getting out, and you're just like, who else have they got, man?
I reckon their B team would win the league.
Their B team would slaughter Everton on a weekly basis for fun. Like,
I reckon their under-21s would win the league.
Yeah. That's not even a joke. They do bloody well, wouldn't they?
So for me, Palmer, I think Ollie Watkins you knew, and whoever else you kind of mentioned there. But Palmer was the one, well underpriced. Should have jumped on him well earlier than I did.
That's the thing for me, right? Is if Cole Palmer was an £8 million midfielder, right? I'd be on him. But because he was like 5.5 mil at the start of the season, I was just like, no, I'm just gonna wait and see because Raheem's. Yeah.
Should have known when he was taking the pens and stuff.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You just gotta.
I just thought he
take the win when you can get it.
He wasn't going to take them all, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He was in for injuries, but he wasn't. He wasn't.
No.
So he was me probably.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah, probably me standout player that I missed out on. Yeah, probably him. Maybe Mateta and Isak as well. But I would say and the person, Palmer
Alan,
was
when
the
did
one
you
for
jump
me.
on Cole Palmer?
When what?
When did you jump on him into your team?
I can't remember. I've had him in and took him out, and had him in and took him out, and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't know. I don't know when I got him. It felt like it was late to the party though. His price had gone up when I got him, I think, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was just a bit late to the party there. Anthony Gordon's probably another one I should have jumped on a bit earlier as well. But I'm never. I stuck with people. like Nunes from Liverpool, thinking he'll come good, and he just never ever did he?
Yeah. No, he really didn't. I mean, I think he's on my list of players that I'm never ever bringing in again. There are 2 players on that list for me. The first one is Reece James.
Right.
Like, I don't care that he could be getting 10 points a week. Don't care. Don't care.
Okay.
Because as soon as I bring him in, fail. The second one is Darwin Núñez. The standout player for me this year has been Ollie Watkins, and I've not been on him at key times, and there was a time where he blanked 5 game weeks in a row, which was the week I bought him to the week that I sold him, and then the week after 2 goals and an assist, and I was just like, you know what, like, what can you do? Like, I think 5 game weeks is plenty of patience as well.
Yeah.
And he was just, and he's just proved me wrong time and time again. So fair play to the fella. But like, it's one of them where like, I think players' ownership should scare me more than the potential of players that aren't very well owned. And I know that's how you climb ranks, but you can't get away with ignoring someone who's like 60-70% owned and expect to get away with it, and expect to know better than everyone else. It's just arrogance at the end of the day from me, I think. It's what it maybe not arrogance, but like, it was Aston Villa, and no one expected them to be Champions League contenders. If you'd have said at the start of the season Villa will have Champions League football by game week 37 wrapped up, I'd have laughed you out the room. So fair play to them, and maybe they'll not turn me into a doubter next season, but then they'll have European football to contend with, and then we'll have another issue with Ollie Watkins to pick, and maybe I won't pick him again and overthink it and sink.
I know, yeah. Watkins has had a record breakout season. If anything, he's been astonishing along with Cole Palmer. I would agree with you, Allan, in terms of being the surprise packet of the season. But speaking of surprises, the season's not over yet. That's why we just moonwalk our way into the final lot of fixtures, all kicking off at the same time on Sunday, 4 o'clock BST. And this is Melbourne, Australia times, where, I mean, wherever you may be, check your local guides. But look, I'm going to do my best. Let's try and exclude the Man City and Arsenal games, only because they know they're going for the title. Rev, I'll start with you, and then Allan, you go after Rev. What is there a particular standout game from the final day?
I think the standout game for the final day for me is actually, interestingly enough, 2 teams that don't really seem to have that much to fight for. It's Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Now, hear me out. Crystal Palace at home, we know, are very good. Aston Villa have been out on the lash. Right, I reckon, like, if I'm John McGinn, I'm leading the party to Pop World, and I'm having 1 or 2 Jaeger bombs, and and me and Luca Dean are gonna like go start singing Venga Boys until 3 a.m. Now, I reckon Aston Villa, out of all of the teams that are there, I think Aston Villa will be the most on the beach. Not that Crystal Palace won't be, but I think very possibly Aston Villa players have been out on the old tipples. So I think Crystal Palace, and there's a few players that I'm looking at. Obviously Elise is quite a good player to look at. Someone who could be quite a spicy pick. He's been again, another player that when fit has been amazing. But with always with that caveat, when fit. And so that's quite difficult to try and keep track of a player like that. And the second player is Mateta as well. Obviously playing up front is looking to do really well, and to really build off his really good form of late. And so fair play to Palace. They've really turned their season around. It was quite a difficult start for them, and they're looking really good, and maybe want to finish on a high in front of their home crowd. Give them something to, dream about for next season, whilst also putting the knife into an Aston Villa side who are very much thinking about the Champions League next season. Maybe.
My standout fixture, I would pick the Chelsea game, Chelsea-Bournemouth. Chelsea seem to have got their head together a little bit, haven't they, of late, under Pochettino. They seem to be starting to roll out some results and that, and they've shockingly got into that European place. Are they sixth? I can't remember.
Yeah, they are. They are sixth, yeah.
But getting to sixth from where they've been and how they've been playing has been amazing. Quite amazing. And obviously you don't want them in the Euro to get anywhere near European football. So I think the Chelsea game for me is probably the one. I understand what you're saying about Palace defo because Aston Villa they'll have the flip-flops on defo.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they'll be but Chelsea have still got something to play for. Bournemouth, I'm not sure. Is it one of their best finishes, possibly, after a terrible start to the
manager
season?
just signed a new contract as well, so
so he turns it right round, didn't he? Because they were bottom of the league, weren't they?
They were
awful, and he's turned it right round.
Fair play to them.
But so I'd go for the Chelsea game out of all of them, and I could go Liverpool's last game against Wolves. It'll be an emotional one, but
Klopp send off, give him something to think about. But
Mikey will be celebrating as well then.
Oh no, it's the highest compliment I can give the fella. As an Everton fan, I'm glad to see Jurgen Klopp go because he's such a good manager.
Yeah,
obviously the rumor is you could replace him with a number of really good managers, but will any of them ever be Jurgen Klopp? Will any of them have that connection with the players? Will any of them have that connection with the fans quite like that ever again?
No, I think the answer is no, isn't it?
Exactly who comes in to fill those shoes?
I mean, it's almost after Ferguson, isn't it? You'd almost have to have someone to fail.
Yeah.
I think that's why we've picked this fella.
I don't even want to say his name. I don't even know his name.
He can only impress me. And Slot or something. There are connotations there that I know will be getting said by Evertonians all over the world.
No comment.
So I reckon he can only impress me because he's coming in and it's such an underwhelming appointment that I'm like, wow, okay, so he can only do good, to be fair. But so I could have picked Liverpool, but with both of them, it's only it's a farewell game in it, and maybe Wolves will spoil the party. You never know. So, but I've plumped for Chelsea.
I think there's a potential trap this week. There's a potential trap, Chazza, which is the Sheffield United Spurs game.
That is the game I'm going to pinpoint right now because it was going to be Liverpool. That's been mentioned. I'm going for Tottenham, Sheffield, because Tottenham have scored 5 goals in 3 of their last 6 final day fixtures. I reckon this will be a good fixture for Tottenham.
That's a good history stat, to be fair. I mean, I think for me, the other side of that coin is Spurs only need 1 point. They only need a point to secure
Sheffield United at home have been awful all season.
They only need a point. And so, and unless you're going to go for Son, who else do you go for in that team? Obviously, Pedro Porro is quite good, but I think
Brennan Johnson.
I've got Johnson, haven't I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I've got 3 Spurs players.
I'm gonna put me neck out there and say I think that fixture is a trap because Spurs only need a point. I don't think we'll see, massive high flying football.
Are you messing? Because he doesn't know how to play any other way. He will play on the halfway line and just go for it like he does in every game.
But they are Spurs. They've lost their heads. They are the champions of bottling it.
They'll concede goals as well.
Okay, fair play.
But they'll just go for it. He can't play any other way, that manager. Just doesn't know how to. Remember, he was 9 men against. Was he 9 men against City, and he just kept the high line and everything.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's a very dangerous way to play, but it's done okay for them.
Well, not too bad, 5th.
Yeah.
it has straight to the traps, or maybe the swift transfers for the final dance of the season. On we go for final time. It being the transfer trends, being ins and outs. As you got your names there, Isaac Fernandez, De Bruyne, Gordon, Saka as your top 5. With Gordon already been announced, being not 100% fit for their away trip to Brentford on Sunday, and transfers in from 5-1. Foden, boom, 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 boom. Mateta's in my room. Followed by Lise. Can't have us body, yo. Boom. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thanks for that. Brilliant.
Any surprises, Rev?
Any what?
Surprises? No.
Outside of my side.
Well, yeah. I think obviously the Dorito of death is always going to come into play. You know, if they've ever got that little triangle, you know, fancy managers are going to transfer the player out. What I do think, though, if there is one thing that I've learned this season, is that Mikel Arteta is full of crap. Like, you can't believe a word he says in the press conferences. Like, the amount of times he's been like, oh, Saka's out, and I've transferred him out, and he's come and scored. Like a billion. I mean, that was my question, John David, by the way. Hello, John David. How are you doing, mate? Also, you know, what is Mateta doing in your room, Chazza? You know, not that we
obviously
judge
boom,
here.
boom, innit?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Mateta's in my room.
Well, I love it. Yeah, and so I think the big surprise for me there is Saka. I fully expect them to play. Arsenal, they are fighting for the for the championship.
He's definitely going to play.
He has to start. He has to. You know, and even if they just give him a bunch of painkillers and some injections in his leg, like I feel like that's what they're gonna do. So yeah, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah, Gakpo will start.
Gakpo will start. Yeah.
Yeah, Darwin Núñez fully out of favour after missing those few chances against Everton. Which I won't try and mention our derby win too much, Allan. You know,
no,
won't try and mention it.
Got to win 1 in 14, haven't you? So
yeah, it's true. Mate, it's been such a long time.
You're the stats man. You should know that was.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, mate, if you give monkeys a bunch of typewriters and infinite time, eventually they will write the works of Shakespeare.
They will,
won't they?
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
By pure accident, if anything else.
Yeah.
So, you know, once in a 14.
Once in a generation, that'll do.
Mate, I was in high school. No, I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't in high school. I was 20. I'm older than I think I am. But yeah. I was 20 years old when we last beat yous. 20 and 34 now, folks. Yeah.
There you go. So what had to happen sometime.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah. And the wheels had fell off us by that point. Go on, sorry, Chazza.
No, it's all right. Feel free to talk about your bus ride stories either now or another time. But I think, so Gameweek 38, and let's just go to the discussion now, it's known to have a lot of goals, which means not many clean sheets. I'm quite surprised that Vardyol's gap in terms of transfers in, as opposed to the second most transferred in player, is by a substantial margin.
Yeah. Well,
that is a lot for a defender.
That's knee-jerk, that, isn't it?
And well, I don't know. I think it's because he has been scoring goals of late, hasn't he? The positions he's found
5 and 7, yeah, 5 right.
That's probably why they bought him rather than the clean sheet, and they're playing West Ham. So, you know what I mean? West Ham. Now that's a team with flip-flops on.
Yeah, I mean, even David Moyes is like chatting absolute rubbish in press conference. Did you see what he said about the players? He just said like that was rubbish, and you know, it's the players. It's them. It's not me. It's them. Like, whoa.
He said he'd struggle to stop the under-14s winning.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the reaction there is for goal scoring defender rather than clean sheet. And they possibly will keep a clean sheet against West Ham, let's be honest. West Ham have not been playing for Moyes for a bit now. Except occasionally, you know what I mean. They've kind of give up on him, I think. So I would say that it's that's what it's for, more so than the clean sheet for me personally, Chazza.
Yeah. Allan, I wanted to throw the question back to you. So when it comes to transfers this game week, I know you said that there's merit in bringing in Vardiol. Do you feel in general amongst any of the other defenders there's merit in terms of bringing them in, considering the last game week is usually known to be quite a goal fest, or is it best to focus it on the attackers?
I think the only merit you've got is if you're looking at a goal scored. So if you're looking at Alexander Arnold's assist, the goal, or someone of that ilk, you know what I mean? That I would say that's the. I wouldn't be looking for clean sheets. If you get a clean sheet, I think you're fortunate. Rather than, I think you're looking for someone who might do the assist or the goal. And if I was doing any defensive changes, that's what I would be thinking. I wouldn't necessarily be thinking clean sheet. Because as you say, they're almost like exhibition games at this stage of the season, aren't they? When you've got nothing to play for. So, they can be loads of goals. So I would be looking at your assist kings or your goal scorers, defenders, personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Rev, would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I would. And I think it's one of those which you hit the nail on the head earlier, Chazza, that game week 38 historically is the game week with the most goals, because teams are more likely to, it's in every manager's team talk. It's in every manager's team talk, which is go out there, relax, have a bit of fun, play with a bit of freedom. Have a real go at them. Give the fans something to cheer about. Like that. That's in every manager's team talk, and so it doesn't surprise me at all that we're going to see a lot of goals. The question for me is, where are those goals gonna come from? And I do think that we do need to be thinking about those Arsenal attackers and Allan. You don't have any. Are you nervous, Allan? You're nervous?
I'm not having any Arsenal attackers. I mean, who's the Arsenal attacker you're going to pick? Jesus, I mean, he's underwhelmed all season.
I've got Saka and I've got Havertz.
Yeah, but they're midfielders, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're basically attackers.
Saka's a doubt. And
he's not, because Arteta is chatting absolute
wham. You don't know what transfers I've done.
You're bad. Get him on the wall.
And literally, I'll just give you the hint. I've took a -4.
Yeah, of course you have. His head's gone.
I've got me -4 in the bag. It's laughing. Don't worry. You don't know if transfer's in yet, Mikey.
Okay, cool. You know what? I'll make mine right now. Yeah.
You're gonna make your transfer now.
Yeah.
I like that. I normally don't tell anyone what I've done, or I will misdirect just for a laugh.
Yeah. Well, because what I can do is I can make my transfer now, and then that way, that I won't copy you.
I'm doing mine on this pod as well.
Because otherwise, I'll have to. Because otherwise, I will have to.
I'd transfer Saka out if I was you, Mikey.
Oh, would you? Yeah, I bet that would be the transfer that you'd like me to do. Yeah. Okay. That player out, this player in.
So you're halfway through doing your transfer, or are we able to discuss GW38 Punts, which might not be relevant considering you've already done your transfer?
Punts.
Yeah, well, yeah. So punts, right? Here's some punts for people. And I know that was it Gary who mentioned them earlier? Cody Gakpo.
Yeah.
Klopp's final game in front of the Kop. Yeah. They are going to want to give him a good send off. They are a team that have something to play for. I can't afford him, but if I could afford him, my transfer this week would be Mo Salah. Because chances are they might get a couple of penalties. So punts that aren't in that top transfers in would be Salah or Gakpo. I'd be into them, but I've only got the one transfer. I'm not about to take a -4 in the final game week of the season. You know, it's not going to pay dividends over time. I don't know who in the right mind would do something like that. You know, it'd just be totally crazy. But you know, there might be some genius in the madness there.
It's
Alan,
someone who's give up.
Really? It's great.
Give up and just randomly scattergun approach to his team.
Yeah.
Doesn't care anymore.
Fair play. Right, well, we'll see. We'll see what you pick in a minute. But when we do our reveals, yeah.
Alan, this is outside your transfer moves you may have already made. Are there any GW38 punts that you like a lot of?
I think you've probably got to go for Arsenal. I mean, I think if there's going to be a clean sheet, it'll be Arsenal. I think Everton probably won't score against Arsenal. So I think you can probably go for one of their defenders if you haven't got one. Maybe White as that kind of assist person that I was talking about before, or maybe Gabriel as the corners and that goal scoring, maybe clean sheet. So I think you had if you're looking for a clean sheet, it's probably the Everton game. Everton don't score many goals anyway, do they? I know they've scored they've done all right and they kind of keep it tight at the back. But I think Arsenal win that game, and I think.
But also Arsenal's defense has been like we often think about Arsenal attackers just because of like history, and we think of the free flowing football that they've played. But like the truth to this Arsenal team is that like they've just had an amazing defense. Their defensive numbers have been so good. Almost
back to the old song, isn't it? Where under the
1-0 to the Arsenal, yeah.
1-0 to the Arsenal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost back to that. Their defense has been key this season, and they're scoring goals. So So for me, it would be an Arsenal defender, and you can obviously tell I didn't bring one in. So
that's fair. All right, I've got 3. One of them already been a Arsenal midfielder, quite rogue, Leandro Trossard. I think he might do well on the final day. A couple of other ones I mentioned here is I actually think Brennan Johnson's a good shout away at Sheffield. Hudson-Odoi away at Burnley, who have already been relegated. I think Forest might actually go all out on the final day. But the headline one, most transferred in midfielder, Michael Elise from Crystal Palace. I think
that sounds
do pretty well.
That sounds like a really good idea, Shazza. I mean, you'd have to be a genius to go for a player like that,
Well, obviously, when you think Aston Villa are on the beach, if you think that, and then he's fit, then maybe that's a good one to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think in terms of punts, that's all I can really think of. But to the community out there, if you've got any punts you like to name, by all means, chuck them all in, and we will get to the rightful opportunity when in due course to go over them and have our brief say on it. Before we get to our panel preview for Game Week 38, we've got to give our usual shout out for the final time on a Game Week preview show in Bonus Bank. Our sponsor, Bonus Bank, is a fantastic free tool to help FPL managers edge your FPL mini league rivals on a weekly basis. The tool displays the probabilities of clean sheets at each team and which players likely to score. Also, this tool is useful in determining the best defensive picks and consider assets that are likely to score this game week. Number 1 clean sheet, we've already mentioned in Arsenal, 48%, and the asset likely to score in Erling Haaland. And now it's time for the final time in the 23-24 campaign to preview our sides for the coming game week. It's the final countdown. Over to you, Rev. For 38. There's your XI with a bench boost already played. There you go. All yours.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of benches, I think I do have a little bit of a benching dilemma this week. Because obviously Romero is on my bench and also Nicholas Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Am I going to bench him for real? So, Anthony Gordon out. He's struggled with injuries this season. It's not that he's a bad player, but I just don't want to risk it. Just play it really simple. And then, I'm going to have some fun. Elise is in. He's transferred in. I may captain him just for fun. But I think if there are certain mini league rivals ahead of me that don't have the any Arsenal attackers like Havertz or Saka, I might captain one of them if I'm feeling a little bit less spicy. Especially if an Arsenal haul from like the likes of Saka might give me a real chance of catching Allan by quite a bit. It might just put him under pressure to take yet another -4 in the final game week. We never know. We never know.
Yeah.
Allan can tell I'm going fishing, but he's not biting, is he?
All I kind of have to do is man you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, you do, yeah. You can just transfer in Elise and Saka and Havertz.
I might just do that. Might just take another -4.
Yeah, because beating me is all we care about here, really. To be fair, that's fine. Yeah.
You and Dave Lansam is all.
Yeah.
That's a bucket list thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think kind of punished last week with Cucurella. Not punished, but like obviously players who went for Gusto, did a lot better. But I think this is solid. I think every player in my starting 11 here has a little something to fight for. I think I might bench Isak for Jackson. I think that's where I'm kind of leaning towards, just because Callum Wilson has been back. And so,
he hasn't played though, has he?
Yeah, but they might be sharing some minutes. Is the issue, and I think we've only got 90 more minutes. And if I was going to go over the course of the whole entire season, then I'd say Isak. But because I think just by sheer virtue of the fact that I think Jackson might just play the 90. And Isak might play the 60 or something. I might just go with that. But what would you do with this team, boys? Would you make any benches? Change any captaincy armbands? Chaz is frozen.
You've gone Saka.
Yeah.
For the captain. Yeah, I mean it's a punt, isn't it? Who's your vice? I can't quite see properly. Oh,
Havertz.
But you're big on Arsenal.
They have to win. They're a team that has to win. They have to score goals.
I'm guessing everyone else is going to plumb for Haaland, but are you not scared that the Haaland card could kick in against West Ham?
I mean, does the man with nothing to lose have any fear? I think I've got nothing to lose, and so Arsenal have to win.
They do.
And those are the attack. Like the onus is really on Arsenal to make the first step, because if they're both drawing, then fine. Go ahead, Chaz.
Yeah, Rev, I would put Nicholas Jackson on field for Alexander Isak. I think Newcastle's goal scoring form on the final day could potentially dry up away at Brentford.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. If I was you though, I would bring your defender on. Who was it? On Doggy.
Romero,
I'd bring him on for Haaland.
Yeah, just like this. Okay, sure. Yeah, that looks
much
really good.
Better formation.
Yeah, okay.
I would do that if I was you.
Look at that. And you know what? If we even wanted to.
And I would put Haaland third on my bench. Yeah.
We can take out Saka as well and play 5 at the back, and we could captain Branthwaite, couldn't we?
And go for on the game
captain Branthwaite.
Game scoring bonanza weekend. You could go for a defensive clean sheet masterclass.
Yeah. Did you just say disaster class?
I would do that if I was you, and I was trying to catch me. That's what I would do.
I mean, there's hoping for magical Christmas land, and then there's like that.
There's that, what I just said. Yeah. It was worth a try.
Yeah, it was. It was totally worth a try. But Alisson Becker in goal. I'm thinking, little cheat.
We can't keep a clean sheet. Liverpool can't keep a clean sheet.
That's
been the problem all season, hasn't it?
Yeah, so like the Bravka maybe, or
well, no, I think you've got to go out of the two. I think you've got to go Becker.
Yeah.
Out of your two goalies, you've got to. I would anyway. Out of them two, I think Pope might play the last game of the season. You know what I mean? Now that
he could
because he's fit, isn't he? He's on the bench and that. So, but I would go Becker. I think
Ooh.
what you've got there,
Have a
that's
good
probably
shout.
the best lineup. Yeah.
Rev, Palmer captain.
No, I haven't really thought about Palmer captain because I just don't think like the situational need is there for Chelsea. So, you know, when we look at the table, like, yeah, they've got to win. Well, no, they have to draw to secure. Is it sixth place that they're in?
European.
They've only got a draw, you know, and like there's an outside chance that they could catch Spurs. If Spurs lose and they win, then they could get fifth. But I think even Spurs like only need a point. So like I think Chelsea are going into this game maybe slightly more defensive. Like I'm even tempted to bench Palmer, actually, because of the just by pure, like, you know, they don't need to go for it. Whereas I think, you know, Newcastle by winning their game could put Chelsea under some pressure, and cause them to have to go for it because, you know, by the side of the pitch, like, you know, the players, the manager's going to be getting updates. You know, that live scoreboard will come on at half time, and you know, if Newcastle are winning and Chelsea are 1-0 down, for example, then there's pressure. Then Chelsea need to go out and win. But until that happens, which is unlikely, you know, it'll change the style of play. But you know, anything happens when that whistle goes, and you know, all those things go out the window, and yeah. But anyway, I think that's my team anyway, boys. Thanks for the tips and advice, and I'll definitely consider putting Haaland third on my bench for sure. Yeah.
Allan time it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over to you.
That's my team. Yeah, I've made 2 transfers.
There he is.
As
It's Mohamed. It's Mo. It's a great
Mo
pick.
And Havertz in.
Yeah.
Mo, obviously, last game of the season at Anfield. I've captained him as well. That's not going to change. And I think rather than going for the Haaland choice on the captain, I've gone Mo as a bit of a different type of choice.
Okay.
I think it could be his last game for Liverpool. Never mind. Last game. So it could be last game at Anfield, last game under Klopp. I think, you know, he's got to put some of the chances away that he's been missing recently.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for like 4 or 5 off him. I'm not really. That's just dreaming. I'm hoping for a couple. As you say, maybe a penalty or something. And I put Havertz in for the exact reason what Mikey was going on about before. Yeah,
they have to win.
They have to win, and he's there. Yeah, he's been playing well for them. He's been a good buy. He was good in Germany. He just binned at Chelsea, didn't he? A little bit.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't play him right.
I think everyone binned at Chelsea.
Everyone seemed to have, yeah, for a bit. It's a bit like going to Man United, isn't it? You know. But I think Havertz is a good player, and they've done well to get him, and he's playing well at the moment, really well. I think in that false kind of number 9. So they're me 2 changes I've made this week, and that's my team. And
I love it.
Probably not going to change. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like a Johnson on field too.
Yeah, I figured Alves will probably get on the pitch, but he probably won't start, which is the mistake I made. He was the one I wasn't going to have in instead of Guards of Lala or whatever his name is. Can't say his name. And he didn't start both games that I had him in my team for. So I'm assuming he won't start again, but you never know with Pep. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, if I could afford them, I think Mo Salah be in my team this week. So that's a really scary final game week. Team, well played to you, mate. Well played.
Fair play. No, I do like it.
Took a -4, so you know.
Yeah, well, you're in the luxurious position to be able to do so, whereas I am not. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the Liverpool position. I'm not going to finish any higher or any lower, really, so it doesn't really matter. Well, I might finish lower, but you never know. I'm not that bothered. If I don't win the league, I'm not bothered. You know what I mean? I keep going with some sort of miracle game week might happen, but, you know, it doesn't. So I just, I don't stop. I never give in. But I'm kind of realistic that.
Yeah, for sure.
First is everything, second is nowhere, as they say. You know what I mean? So, wouldn't mind a Champions League place, but we'll have to see. I'm a bit out of some Champions League places in some of the leagues I'm in, but
yeah.
Brilliant. I like it. All right.
Okay.
This is a team at the moment. 1 transfer, 0.6 in the bank. This is how we're looking. Now, it's 10:07. Get your dials on. We're going straight to the transfer section. And for once, no permission denied. We can actually do our transfers. Now, we are thinking, before. So, it's a toss-up between the Palace and the Arsenal. Havertz or Elise? That's the usual question. Do I take Gordon out? Do I take a Bruno Mars out? I'm not really quite sure if a dancing Portuguese one would say. But here we go. We're going to dive straight in. We're going to go straight down the spine. Bruno Mars. I love Jazz while it lasted. Great assist for Sean Millis, a TikTok star. But you're out. See you later. I'm going to go for the person. Ooh, babe, do you know what that's worth? Kai Havertz is the best on earth. Confirm that transfer for the game with 38. There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
We're going like that.
Fair play to you,
he's got more to play. He's got more to play for, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
That's the thing. And
yeah.
And Elise, they might want to put a bit of a show on, but he's got more to play for. So
it's a really solid team.
I would pick him. Yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
Elise might get injured in the warm up now that Mikey's picked him. So
I know, right? Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like something's gonna happen. Like I am so cursed this season. Yeah.
You've walked the league, haven't you? Anyway,
in terms of which one, the Finnegan's League?
Not a few of them, haven't you?
Yeah, Chaz is one on loads.
You're number one on all of your leagues.
Look, if Finnegan's one, I didn't quite overtake Benny Blanco until about last game week. So that was a really hard one. Really good competition now. But we're just going to roll with it. And if one misses out, we've got cover. I think within the last 3 seasons, there's been one or more auto sub having been activated on the final game week. So I'm content for what it is. That's my team. You'll find out how it goes come our end of season review show, which will occur in due course. But that's enough on my side. We'll get to my segment shortly. But before that, Rev, I just had a look at the private chat that you'd like to take the floor for a few moments.
Yeah, of course. And so, we're moving away from FPL for a moment. But Allan didn't know I was going to do this, but Chazza, if I could just share me screen real quick. Folks, my friend Allan has been in my life my whole life. I've known him my whole life, and he's a really great guy, lovely individual. But Allan is, as he mentioned before, he never gives up. He always fights, whether that's in FPL or whether that's in life. And as you can see here on the screen, we have Allan's GoFundMe page. And, I'm really blessed. I've been astonished. I've been amazed by the support that's been given so far to go towards Allan's cancer treatment at the moment. But if anyone is watching along or if you're listening along, just go to Google, search Allan Finnegan GoFundMe. It'll be right there. And if you can afford to give a little something, if you've enjoyed Allan's insights today, I know I have, then please do give what you can towards that. It's a great cause. It's for a great guy. And I know we talk a lot of shit on the FPL Addicts, but this is something that is actually going to make a real difference. Allan's been an amazing leader in my life and and in our community, as well. And so, you know, you're not just blessing Allan with this, you know, you're blessing all of his family, all of his loved ones, his community as well. So yeah, if there's anything that you can give towards that, that would be very, very much appreciated. Yeah, cheers.
Well, thanks for that, Mikey. You didn't have to do that, you know.
No, well, thanks, Allan. And I know, you know, we have a lot of banter, and I do give you a lot of stick, and you give it right back. To be fair,
Yeah.
And but you know, but at the end of the day, you know, you're an inspiration for me, man. Not just recently with your fight, but just in terms of like your wisdom and your messages. But I won't go too far on. Your head won't fit through the door. But
not as good as everyone says I am, you know.
Yeah. No, well,
I think they've got selective memory, but
yeah.
And it's to be fair, it's something I shouldn't have to be paying for. I've had to go private. There's no other options. You know, I'm terminally ill, less than 12 months to live, unless you get this treatment that costs quite a lot of money each go.
Yeah.
And so I shouldn't have to do that. It should be available on our NHS, but it's not. So
yeah. I mean, was there not just a spare bit of money lying in the collection plate? No, that's what I do.
You're joking, aren't you?
Oh, maybe you should join the Church of England then, mate.
I should do, yeah. It's been very humbling journey. I never wanted to start a GoFundMe. I didn't think I'd get any money. Didn't think I was liked that well.
Yeah.
And so it's been very humbling. People giving, and people have really given. You know, that's about 3 months we've raised £126,000 something pounds.
Yeah,
you know,
it's phenomenal.
Probably getting close to getting me third treatment. I've had 2, and I've had to pay for it already. So yeah, thank you to everyone who's give. You know, and there's no pressure to anyone to give to that. But me and the family really appreciate it. It's been humbling. So thank you.
Fair play.
Yeah,
Allan, I wish you all the very best for what's to come.
When are we going to see you, Chaz, again in Finnegan's Bar?
Well, yeah, I hope soon. But speaking of seeing someone, he's been in the backstage for a few moments, and of all places, he's in Morocco, but he's decided to do a nice cameo.
Right.
The man with the shades in Reidy.
Yes, Reidy, my man.
Boys. What's going on, eh? Hey, do you know what? I was waiting for Mikey's. I was waiting for. I'll take these off. I'm inside, so I don't even think I am. I think I'm like Tony Montana or something. But it's wetty at the moment, a bit warm here. But
looking nice and sunned up, mate.
Yeah, the missus is trying to catch up, but she's got no chance. Let's put it that way. But, great little sort of tribute to Allan there, Mikey. I was waiting for you to shut up, but you just wouldn't for some reason.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good stuff to say, isn't there? But I won't tell him that.
No. All jokes aside, I mean, I think it's amazing, and obviously, just to put my I don't know, two pence in or whatever the saying is like, it is amazing what people can do when they come together. So, you know, I hope it all goes as well as it can go, and you get an extra 20 years. I mean, to be honest, I think you're around, is it 40 anyway, Allan? So you're looking in good shape, mate. Yeah.
Well, someone said before, when they first saw Allan, he went, "Oh, is Reidy shaved?" You know, he's looking well, isn't he? I'm not sure if that's a compliment, though. To be honest, Reidy.
Not to him, it's not.
I was going to say it's not to Allan. Yeah. My hairline's going, tell you. But, I'll be there soon, Allan. But
get yourself to Turkey, not Morocco.
Yeah, it will be. But yeah, I mean, all of that, like I say, great tributes. Great to have you on the podcast. I mean, I thought, you know what? I asked the missus, said, what time is it? Because I thought we were an hour ahead here. We're actually not. It's the same time as in the UK. So I wondered if there's a chance they're still on. So I thought I'll jump on. You know, won't try and take the limelight too much because you're an hour in, aren't you? It's an hour and 10 in.
It's too late, Reidy. You've already stole the show, mate. You've stole the show, mate.
Yeah, no, I've missed the good stuff, haven't I? But, you know, to have Mikey on as well, it's been a long time because I know he's been going through the house move and stuff. So
yeah. It's been emotional.
Yeah,
just in time for the final game week.
I'm still waiting for that nougat bar from Tom. Absolute joke. What's going on? I haven't received that from 20.
If you call it nougats, you won't get it. It's nuggets.
I call it nugget. Yeah.
Guys, in the comments right now, right? You know those little pink bars? Do you call them nugget or nougat? And by the way, if you say nougat, you are a Tory. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Even if you don't know what that means. Yeah.
If you say nougat, you vote for Rishi Sunak. Pass it on.
Yeah, it's definitely. I call it nugget, but I think Tom is he from the south? I don't know.
He is, yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely is.
Judging on them feet pics on holiday, he's definitely a southerner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely a southerner.
Yeah. But yeah, FPL wise, I mean, I know you've probably discussed it all.
Yeah, what moves are you doing, Reidy?
I'll be honest, I haven't even thought about FPL. I've just thought about getting on holiday and relaxing and switching off. And don't know. I mean, 1 week left. What moves do you make, really, other than, I guess it's just mini leagues, isn't it? I've got a mate who 40 odd points behind. I don't think I can catch him because I didn't captain Haaland when he scored 4. You know, rookie mistake on my part. But other than that, I'm just kind of looking forward to the Euros. I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to the Euros, especially, obviously, and I know Mikey will enjoy this because obviously Everton done us over, but, you know, our season's over.
I haven't mentioned it, Reed. I haven't mentioned it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's over. It'd be nice to see Klopp's last send-off at Anfield. At least it's at home. You know, that'd be nice. Yeah. And I know somebody's met a certain Mr. Klopp.
Recently, Allan, yeah.
It coincided with our downturn. I met him, and we've only won 1 game since, I think.
Man's cursed. Yeah. He's cursed.
Oh, yeah, Reidy's frozen.
He's cursed. Yeah, Gary says Reidy is a nugget. Facts. Truth was spoken that day. Yeah, Reidy, your internet's cut out, but good to see you, man.
Yeah,
and,
it's great to see him. I had enough of him anyways after 2 minutes.
Yeah. But anyway, Chazza, do you want to give us the little send-off that we deserve for our final time?
Someone might say it is the armband discussion time, and this edition has come from my home, not quite in Morocco. Reidy, it was great to speak to you, but now you're kicked out. Catch you in shortly. Because I'm out on the dance floor. GW38 to move. 5 options. Best Allan, Salapama, Mateta. Yes, that's a differential already spoken out in the final game week of the season, which is a great opportunity to chase up to your mini league rivals or to just hold a position at your end. We start Haaland at home to West Ham. Now, from game week 25 onwards, he's at the second highest percentage of attacking returns in terms of matches being played. He's delivered returns in 8 games of his last 12. Only boom has returned more. Haaland has scored 4 goals in his 3 encounters against the Hammers, and only 3 sides have conceded more goals than start. Hammer time this campaign, and all those sides are in the relegation zone. They're going down, and look, we know Ipswich and Leeds and Leicester, I should say, are going up. Leeds, that's a question mark. City are vying for the title, so it's safe to say they've got something to play for. Mo Salah, a differential Egyptian king. Call him what you want. However, he's averaged 8.4 points per start at home, which is ranked second amongst all starters in fantasy this campaign. He's even outscored Haaland by 4 points in terms of points scored from home matches. And again, they've got something to play for. Klopp's final home game. And with yesterday and his photo of all the staff and the backroom people he's worked with over years, that was the final moonwalk with the trophies. Cole Palmer, not Ice Cold Baby, indeed. Highest fantasy points scorer this season. And you know what? It's even funny. He started in game week 7. You know what? Every single fantasy player, they can have a handicap of negative 6.5. I'll start in game week 7, and I'll still top all of yous. He's the best budget enabler of all time. That is an argument to certainly make. Chelsea also vying for European football. A point is only needed. But Blues have only lost 3 league games since December 11 in the league, and are ranked 4th since then. Cole Palmer's also blanked in just once of his last 12 league matches at the mighty, the heartfelt Stamford Bridge. Sean Min-son away at Sheffield United. This side, the Blades, they may have a sword, but they've got no cutting edge about them whatsoever, because they conceded 8 against Newcastle, 5 each to Brighton and Arsenal. And Spurs have scored 5 goals in 3 of their last 6 final day fixtures. 5 at home to Leicester at the mighty Wembley Stadium in 17-18. Scored 5 away at Norwich in the 21-22 season. He scored 5 away at Ellen Road last season. And in those last 2 seasons, they've been away against sides who've already been relegated. This is another one. Sheffield United. They've already went down a while ago. Jane, boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, Mateta's in my room. Most informed striker in the league since game week 24. That's his last blanket came at Selhurst Park since then. He's had 7 home games, 9 goals, and an assist. That is settling boom, boom to the towers. With Aston Villa, they've already secured the top 4 spot, I should say. Geez, it's been a long day. And John McGinn, he's already barred lad from the bar, and he's probably had too much on the grog. Is there more to play for them or for the Eagles? We shall see. But that is all for Captain's Corner, and more importantly for the 2023-24 edition. Make sure you nail your captaincy pick, because that could be the difference between edging your mini league rival or not. Best of luck this game week. May your arrows be green. But
it's always an education going into Captain's Corner, isn't it? It's a beautiful moment.
How many captains did we get there, Chaz? 10?
All of them.
Plus?
All of them.
All of them. Every team in the league, there's one captain.
Every single possibility available was covered.
But I'm not going to stay too long, boys. I'm off for I need another beer, basically.
You need one. I mean, I feel that pain, mate. Yeah. And you deserve it.
Absolutely deserve it. So there's 2 things I want to say. Or maybe 3. First is, finished the book Mikey this season in the league, mini league. There's one good thing. Yeah. Second thing
You're locking that in now?
Yeah. Me and Elliot are still battling for second. But not only that, we're also playing in the final of the Mini League Cup. So we've got 2 things against Elliot left for the season.
Ooh,
so,
okay.
I mean, I said earlier about there's not much to play for, but, you know, the kind of, I suppose it's just banter or pride or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's
what are your transfers this week then, Reidy?
Oh, look at him trying to milk something out of me already. Oh,
no, I've already made my transfer. I've gone Gordon to Elise.
I'll be honest, I think it's probably going to be Arsenal. Do you want to go Salah? I've had him a lot of the season. So do I want to go back there? If I go Saka, though, I've had Saka most of the season, and I got rid of him the other week for a double game week player.
Mate, please don't get Saka, because you'll curse him. And
yeah, I mean, a player I didn't get at one stage, and I actually mentioned it to another mate, was I said, why don't you get like Havertz? He's looking great, and he wasn't fancying it. He went for possibly Trossard instead, and I mean Trossard's actually been.
Oh, Reidy's.
Then he dropped out.
You know what? Yeah. He's probably gone for a beer, and I don't blame him. Blame him.
It's that Moroccan internet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway, shout out to all the lovely people in the chat. Thanks for joining us all. You know, Miriam, John, Colm, Gary. Great to see you all. Will is saying he's got a little question, but go ahead, Chaz.
In fairness, there's about 3 questions I just start out just during the show. Be very quick, please. Keep or move Pascal Gross at home to Manchester United on the final day? Anyone?
Move.
Okay, well, I'm going keep. Vardiol, captain if you're chasing. Too risky, or is it a fair shout?
If you're chasing, yeah.
Yeah, if you're chasing, you've got to do something different, haven't you?
Yeah. It's not a bad shout.
No.
Okay. Second last one. Elise or Diaz?
Elise,
yeah.
He is someone I've considered. Elise or Havertz. I think one of them two.
That's the question, Elise or Havertz, isn't it? I think it should be. Diaz flatters to DC, doesn't he? He looks brilliant. Doesn't really produce the end product. Anyway, sorry.
Porro question, not too short. Porro Ramiro in defence.
Porro for me.
Porro,
I like it. Cool. Last question, Allan. You can take the floor on this one. Mo for Salah for Skip, but -8. Is that stupid or not?
Yeah, it depends where you're at in your leagues and what you need to do. I think it probably is a bit stupid. but I might do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you've taken a -4 to captain him, so
taking a minus.
Fair
No,
play.
I didn't actually.
You didn't take a -4?
Not for him. No, I took the -4 just for Havertz in. I could
Oh,
have
right,
left
okay.
Havertz out. But I already had Salah in. I'd done that change already.
Right.
And then
Okay, fair
brought
play.
Havertz in. So, yeah. But a -8, you've got to score some, hasn't he, to get anything back. That's always a bit ridiculous.
And the rest.
That's what I mean.
You've got to think. You've got to also think is we've got nothing to play for. So
no, not really.
You know, what's he really? You know,
are they going to put their bodies on the line and all that for it? They're not, are they really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but I'll try and give you a view of the pool
nice.
beach and.
Don't fall, Reidy. Don't fall.
Where are you?
The Rui Palace in Agadir.
I've been there. Yeah.
You been?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
and that's where most of Allan's feet pics come from.
Oh,
there's a few. Yeah.
And
the rest.
So good. So far, so good. It's lovely. Absolutely
nice
lovely.
Morocco, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, without the kids as well, is always a bonus. So. You know.
Oh, you can go to Butlins without the kids, and that's not lovely. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You've got no kids. Blackpool's amazing.
Yeah,
so,
well, yeah.
Rill. I'll even go to Rill if you know, and Rill is pretty rough. But I'd go
Rill's a shithole.
I want to go home.
I don't think we can. I mean, I thought you were going to go as low as Skem then for a minute, Alan, but I thought, Jesus.
No, we won't go that far.
No, I don't hate the kids.
I mean, really, as long as you're out of Runcorn, you're doing well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Reidy's a wolf.
Yeah, I'm a wolf. I'm a born and bred Scouser, but I'm a wolf now because I live in Runcorn. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
Sunny Runcorn. Never mind.
Right.
Well, enjoy your holiday. The rest of it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Mate, why is he coming in and out? You know, I've just got to wrap the show. Leave it for what it is, Reidy.
Yeah.
Enjoy your beers in Morocco. Allan, more importantly, thank you so much for joining our podcast.
Yeah.
We really do
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. Enjoyed it. It's
been awesome. Really insightful from, the eye test FC over there. Mr. I ignore data. Just go with me guts. and still win every year. Fair play to them. Fair play.
And
yeah.
Rev, to you as well. Thanks very much for tuning in, for coming back on.
Yeah, nice one.
Beautiful. All right. Probably next week we'll be back also for an end of season review show where we review all of our mini leagues and as well just to see how we all end up, and more importantly to see if Reidy finished above Elliot or not, or if he's actually jumping off a cliff himself. We shall see. Until next time, all the very best for Game Week 38, the final game week of the season. But more importantly to you, Jack, eat shit. Catch you later.